Please tell people, who are you and what do you do?
Yes, sir. I'm RC Holmes. I like to consider myself a serial entrepreneur. My main focus, well, I'll put this first. I'm a father first.
Hmm.
Father of two beautiful girls. One son on the way this week, actually. But
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Then after that, entrepreneur. I have What the Results, which is a funding company. We help people, businesses get with funding acquisition to get help start, grow, and scale their business. My wife and I also have like a vending machine business as well as a pool route company where we clean residential pools. Well, we don't do it. We have an employee who does it for us. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
All right. Well, you are a serial entrepreneur, because sometimes people say serial entrepreneur and you talk to them, you be like, what? You must mean Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops. What you talk about? But nah, you actually out here getting it. How long you been doing this?
Well, the funding company, What the Results, 3 years. And the pool company and the vending machine is fairly new. The vending machine company we started in February of this year, and the same with the pool route. We purchased an existing business through the pool route, and vending machine is similar to like a franchise model, but there is no franchise fees or anything like that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, what's something you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
um, the process of getting funded and knowing how to the importance of other people's money versus how we all getting in the game of entrepreneur. We want to use our own money, run out of money, then boom, the business fail, right? Getting access to other. I got a famous, not a famous saying, it ain't famous yet, but I got a saying. Getting access to other people's money to create cash flow is step one in generating wealth. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I definitely wish I knew when I first started my entrepreneur journey back in 2019. Yeah, I took all my money out of my 401k and started our Amazon business, and a trucking business, really. And it's really, and we started the business, run out of cash, things didn't work, and the business just went under. So I started like going deep into figuring out how can I get the money. I don't lost all my money. How can I get the money? So once I figured out the process and I learned the process, hired mentors, and through trial and error, I'm like, wow, a lot of people can use this information, you know? So yeah.
Oh yeah, funding is very important, and it sounds like what you realized before you knew how to get that other funding. You're like, all right, all this money sitting in this 401k, and I tell people this all the time: get a printout of the performance of your 401k from when you
Mhm.
first got it started to today, and tell me that you don't notice that 30 to 40% of your principal is dropping every 3 to 4 years. Yeah, it looks like it's still growing because you're actively contributing to it
Yeah.
every paycheck, but every 3 to 4 years, 30 to 40% of your principal is dropping. It sounds like what you said is, I could do better with this 401k money, all right?
Exactly.
And you bet it on yourself. Now,
Exactly.
that first bet,
Hey,
the house took it, right?
yeah, exactly. We pushed it in, but I learned so much from it. You know, it's all lessons. I mean, all losses contain lessons. You know, so yeah, I learned from it. So it ain't all about the money. You know.
Oh yeah, and I tell people this, us business owners, we got, it's funny when we be talking about our failures, it's like how most people talk about a new car,
Yeah.
or we talk about our failures and we smile about it, we laugh because we know that's where the lessons are.
Yeah.
What would you say most people don't realize when it comes to funding when you talk to them?
How easy it is to get people, and that's really the first step in life, the success and failure. Just believing what's possible, not knowing what's possible, and I would say people not knowing how easy it is to get, and just how you just have to structure a few things right so you get access to the funding. And yeah, people are kind of like blown away when I tell them it's really all you got to do is structure your business the right way and have good personal credit, of course. But yeah.
Okay, is there, because I know you work with a lot of people, is there no one that shouldn't call you? Like, is there no one that say, hey, all right, if this, and this, don't call me? But is there a threshold?
Yeah. Okay. So First, if you're lazy, then definitely don't call. Definitely don't call me if you're lazy. I don't want nothing
Please
to do with you. Not at
don't
all.
call me. I'll call you.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all call Randolph.
Hell no, I'm good, bro. Call RC.
Nah. But okay. Besides, if you got the right mindset and you really want to be serious about bettering yourself, still, I say the people that don't call me is if your credit just shy, you got a whole bunch of things in collections. Yeah, and you just in the 500s, your credit score is just really low. You need to call credit repair. Don't call me.
Mm-hmm.
I have some tools to help people with credit repair, but I don't really do it for them
Mm-hmm.
because it can be tedious and it can be a long thing. But yeah, if you have bad credit, don't call me.
So it sounds like at the most, if somebody got below 600, at the most you're going to tell them where to go, but that's not the time for you to start finding funding.
Exactly.
What would you say is the basement floor when it comes to credit?
680 is the minimum.
Okay, so all right, so we got rid of the lazy people and
Yeah.
the people who got credit shot. We're not judging you. We're not blaming you. Most people have been through it, but the most RC is going to do is refer you out. Now you not lazy and you got 680. What comes next?
Okay. What comes next is the business structure. The business structure. You can't have your home address listed on your business. The banks want to look at you as a professional business, right? They do businesses with businesses. They don't want to do no business with like this mom and pop shop, So we want to have a professional address, a virtual address. We want a 1-800 phone number, and a website, online presence. We want to make it easy. I read a book, The Atomic Habits, OAES. We want to make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. So we always want to make things easy, right? We want to make it easy for the banks to go approve our business, verify our business when they go looking to verify it. And we also want to make it easy for our customers to find our products and services. So we definitely want an online presence. And after that, and you got good credit and your business is structured the right way, I mean, really, there's no limit to what you can do or accomplish, honestly.
Oh yeah, and I know I heard from somewhere a lot of times when the banks deny a new business, they're not going to even necessarily tell you why they denied you. But a lot of times it sounds like what you're saying is because it's your home address listed as your business
Yeah.
instead of an actual commercial location. Do
Yeah.
the virtual addresses not work for people?
Some you got to be very careful which ones you use. Like the personal mailboxes ones, they don't typically work. Like if you go to Regis, the ones that actually have a location that you can go to, or like you can actually prove that you can have access to an office, those will work. But the ones that just like a personal mailbox and you just go there and pick up your mail, those the banks kind of know they're up on game on those, and those won't work either.
So
But
no
using
PO boxes.
I said again.
Are you saying when you say personal mailbox, are you saying PO box or are you saying like a okay, I see what you're saying. It sounds like what
Yeah,
you're saying is because Regis, just in case people don't know, REGUS, they're
yeah.
known for helping for having business owners buy like a space inside
Mm-hmm.
of a larger commercial office space. And then,
Exactly.
you can get your mail and you can have an office there. But it sounds like what you're saying is
Yeah,
PO box aside, even if
yeah,
it's another type of virtual address, if it's
yeah,
just a little mailbox, they up on
yeah.
game on that.
Yes, sir. Because the bank they're gonna Google it. They're gonna put it in on Google, and they're gonna see this little brick building that is it's obvious it's not an office, right? And versus like Regis locations, like you say, REGUS, and Opus is the other one. Opus virtual offices. They can Google those locations and they'll see this is a big office. And it makes sense that you can have an office inside this big building.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, using home address, they see that as high risk. And there's a couple of businesses that's listed as high risk as well. I mean, it doesn't stop you from getting funded, but I always tell people like kind of if you at the beginning stages, like real estate, banks look at real estate as a high risk business. Transportation, another high risk business. But if you can do real estate under your, like for example, you can put it as Holmes Enterprises and do real estate under that, but you want to keep real estate out the name. So the banks
Mm-hmm.
you just don't give yourself away.
Got it. So you just want to be strategic with it. So you're making sure that you have an actual place. It can be a virtual place, but make sure it's an actual
Yeah.
legitimate building.
Yeah.
Also, make sure that you learn which type of industries the particular bank you're trying to do with is considering a high risk, such as real estate and
Yeah.
transportation.
Yes, sir.
You can do it, but
Yeah.
don't just make it so obvious. Put it
Yeah.
in the name.
Yeah. Don't
That's
make it.
some very solid advice. All
Yeah.
right, so somebody they have a either a physical location or they have a virtual office that's a legitimate office.
Yeah.
They have a business in they're in an industry that's not considered high risk. What would be the next steps?
Okay. Next, we call it like creating a funding sequence.
Okay.
And basically, in the first part of understanding the funding sequence is understanding which bank pulls from what bureau. You're right, so we can do it in a sequential manner. Be smart about it. So, like for example, Chase they pull from Experian, Truist they pull from Equifax, and Navy Federal they pull from TransUnion. Right? Did I say the name twice?
Oh no, you
Oh,
did
okay,
Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Now
okay,
you
cool.
on point, RC.
All right, cool. So once we understand that, we can start understanding our funding sequence. And the reason why that's important, because we don't want to go to two banks back to back that pulls from the same bureau. They start to get red flags from that. And it's like, oh man, what is he doing? So we want to do it in order for it to make sense, and we don't raise any red flags.
Okay, so sounds like what you're doing is you're diversifying your applications. You're saying, hey, listen,
Yeah.
we're not going to put all our eggs in one basket. We're going to reach out to this funding searches, and that funding. When I say funding source, we're going to
Yeah.
reach out to this funding source, that funding source, and this funding source. But we're going to make sure the sources
Yeah.
that we're reaching out to
Yeah.
use different credit reporting bureaus.
Exactly. And this method is called credit card stacking. Credit card stacking. And the reason why I always recommend credit cards for the startups, because if a business doesn't have 2 years, they're not able to show any tax returns, they're not showing any profit and loss statements or any bank statements. Credit card you get access to credit card with no documentation. It's 12 months, 0% interest in some cases, 18 months, 0% interest. There's no other place or loan type or business product that you can get 12 months, 0% interest from.
Mm.
Uh, so and that's super beneficial, especially when starting off, and we leverage those credit cards to get your business off the ground or operating expenses, whatever you may need it for to take your business to the next level.
That's powerful, man. Because of course, a lot of people know that credit card money is probably some of the most expensive money you can get. But it sounds like what you're saying, you strategically get the cards that don't apply any interest that first year.
Yes, sir.
And usually you will know within that first year,
Yeah.
and if you have a potentially good business model or not.
Yes, sir. Exactly. And that's another part of doing your funding sequence. When you're doing the research in these banks and understand looking to see which bank pulls from what bureau, you also want to take a look at the business products, make sure it's 0% interest, because most of them do. I would say 90% of them, 95% of them do, but there are a select few that don't offer that, right? You don't want to set yourself up and you just get the credit card. And like you said, it'll be expensive money. And another thing, a client actually, he just made a mistake not too long ago. Capital One, do not get a business credit card with Capital One at all. They report to your personal credit, and it kind of defeats the purpose of wanting to separate everything from your business and your personal. And you don't want that. So no Capital One business credit cards.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people, of course, you hear separate business from personal, but it sounds like what you're saying is, listen, you only have so much utilization of credit that you can use in your personal name. If you're
Exactly.
getting a business, quote unquote, business credit card that is reporting to your personal name, you once again you just defeated the purpose, because now your utilization is creeping higher and higher. And I think what typically is like anything over 30%, they consider you risky.
Yeah, anything over 30%, your score started to plummet real bad. I mean, I like to teach 10% for those that's had the financial resources that can, pay it down and keep it down under 10% because you real green light at that point. But 30%, you start to raise those red flags, and we don't like red flags.
Yeah, because man. I'm gonna be honest, man. A lot of times I talk to people in your line of work. They be redlining, man. They be, but it sounds like you approach things very conservatively, and that's to the benefit of the people that you work with. Are there no specific? Because I know, at least for now, Capital One probably isn't a good idea for somebody who wants to utilize business credit that's not reporting to their personal. Are there no specific credit cards you can recommend to people if they wanted to keep that business and personal separated?
The other ones that we don't recommend?
No, that you do recommend.
Okay, Chase. I love Chase. I love Chase, and I think Chase is the best bank for businesses. They're very helpful. They actually just raised their minimum. You can get up to $150,000 with no documentation. And no other bank does that. So Chase, PNC is another good bank. And Chase, I'll just go back to Chase for a second. They have, I think, 5 different business products, all the ink cards. You got the Chase Unlimited, you got the Chase Cash, but any Chase business credit card, I definitely recommend. The next bank will be PNC. They're awesome as well.
Oh man. See, and what I like about people like you, RC, some people might not give away these gems until you set a meeting. It seems like you're wide open with sharing knowledge. How did you get to this level of security? Because it really is a level of security. A lot of people feel like they need security to basically gatekeep the information, but you're giving it away freely. How did you get to this level? The go-giver. Okay, explain. Put us on game. Sir. What is the go-giver about?
The law of giving. You give what you give, and you receive 10 times more than what you give. I'm big on giving. Why hold back the knowledge? I mean, if the people want to shop with you, they're gonna shop with you. And what we're giving away, really, I mean, isn't everything. So yeah. people still gonna come. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, I mean, I'm all about helping others, man. I'm very passionate about helping others, and I want to see everybody win. So if I know something that can help somebody, why not give it to them?
Exactly, man. And that's the way I approach. You and I, we had a talk off camera, and every time I come into a situation, instead of giving somebody unsolicited advice, right? Because, usually unsolicited advice is worth what you paid for it. Right? Exactly. Nothing in a lot of instances. But instead of me giving unsolicited advice, I give where I can. Just, all right, it seems like they need this. Let me give this to them. And people, they're shocked sometimes. Exactly. And sometimes somebody might look at it suspiciously. And sometimes the person that you give to will never give you anything back, and they won't even show any gratitude. But the way it sounds like what the go-giver is talking about for you in the books that I've read as well. The way it works is, even if that person that you gave to doesn't give you something is going to come around because of the effort that you put in.
Yeah, it's all about being a good person, and like we said earlier, I don't personally do credit repair. I do have a course, right? And it has a lot of credit repair tools in there and such things. But if someone comes to me, they need credit repair, and I give them something for free. I give them a document that shows them how to remove a certain thing off their credit repair. Like, oh wow, nobody else would do this. They would charge me for this. Like, no, you go ahead and do this. Go over it. But you got to take action, though. And that's what I kind of see. Like, people don't take action as much on free things as much as if I would have charged them for it. But you got to take action, though.
Oh, yeah. It's psychology. I know people who only charge because they know people won't move unless they charge. Yeah. And the entire world is psychology. There are people that I know, they refuse to learn psychology because they don't want to be considered somebody that's manipulating. And I'm like this, hey, listen, it's a difference between manipulation and influence, right? If the entire world is being ran off psychology and you refuse to learn these simple psychological things, you're doing yourself and the people who you would have potentially helped a disservice because you got all these bad people, the people you consider bad, using these things and getting them in the door and taking advantage of them. You could use some of these same things and get them in the door and look out for them.
100%. 100. I couldn't agree more with that. Yeah, like you said, everything is psychological, and everybody, it plays a major part in every day with everybody. So why not try to learn exactly how people think, how people work? Like it's so beneficial in business and everyday life.
Yes, sir. I truly agree. So I know you got a young family, man. Is there nothing that you're doing with all of this knowledge? Have you already started sharing this knowledge with your children, or are you waiting for a specific thing?
No. My oldest daughter, she'd be 6 this week on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. But every time I don't listen to music when I'm in the car, right? I listen to Jim Rohn, Eric Thomas.
Ooh, Jim Rohn.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my guy. But even the other day, I was taking my daughter to a doctor's appointment, and she was like, and I was like kind of reciting it before Jim Rohn could even say, how much time you listen to this? About over and over, about 100 times. But whatever, like I tell her the importance of everything. And just like for one thing, I get into her head is she used to ask me for money instead of asking, Daddy, what can I do to deserve $5? Because we don't get what we want, we get what we deserve, right? So I've definitely done started teaching her and the importance of personal development, being a good person, reading, just making yourself better. Learning is a lifelong journey, and it doesn't stop when you finish school. Because she'll come in the office early in the morning. Say, Daddy, what you reading or what you doing? Like, I'm learning something. We always got to keep learning. We always got to develop ourselves, and that's how we get to the destination we want to get to.
Oh man, it sounds like you're raising her right, man, because I've had conversations and keep in mind, not yet, I'm planning, but I don't have any children, right? None that I know of anyway, right? So I don't have any children. So I limit my insight because, it's one thing for somebody to give you advice. And it's another thing, somebody that has no way of knowing how you feel to give you advice. But for me, I'm like, all right, how long are our children allowed to be innocent? And a lot of times when I ask people that question, they say, probably about, up to about 13. And by that time, they probably need to be. And I'm like, all right, so it sounds like what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You're going to block all of this knowledge from this child for the first 13 years, just to save 13 years of innocence and set them up for decades of uncertainty and unclarity.
Exactly. Because if you don't give them the right information those first 13 years of life, like imagine the amount of wrong information they can consume or gather from other sources, school or whatever, just thinking that is right. I wish I would have started getting knowledge on certain things before 13. Another thing, like I'm big on life insurance. I think that's the most powerful thing in the world, honestly, and throughout my daughter's young life, of course, I think she had maybe $1,300 in her piggy bank, whatever. The money wouldn't fit no more. So okay, let's take it out and put it inside a life insurance policy, right? And she said, what is that? I said, you don't want to put it inside of a bank account because it's just gonna sit there. We want to put it in something that's gonna make us money. So now she knows. She still says bank account, but she knows. She's like, Daddy, remember we put that money inside the bank and now it's making more money? I should have more money now. But she knows this is the concept, just starting to gather those concepts. So when she gets older, it won't be the first time she hears it at 13. She heard it at 4 years old. Like, oh yeah, my daddy said something about that. I know what that means.
Oh yeah, I truly believe all truths are parallel, right? Usually, what's true and workable in one facet is true and workable in another, and one of those truths is, as the twig bends, so grows the tree. When you have a small tree like it was just planted, you can bend and shape that tree whichever way it should grow. But once it starts becoming a huge tree and solidifying, the only way you're gonna change the shape of that tree, you're gonna have to saw off limbs. And a lot, and a lot of people don't have the mental fortitude and wherewithal to go do that self work of what it takes to shape that big old tree. When a very careful and knowledgeable parent was able to just move those twigs. And as a matter of fact, I didn't learn this until I had godchildren, right? You and do you know, like your child right now, I'm pretty sure she's a good girl, but she probably says maybe a fib here or there, right?
Yeah.
If she does that, if she lies or tell you, it's probably obvious to you. You see, she has certain things that she does to where I know for a fact she's lying, right? But then as we, not just your daughter, but as we get older, we get better at telling lies. But that parent, it was obvious when you were a child, but as you get older, you hide it a little bit, but your parent, they just decide what to call you out on or what not, because they see it. They knew when you were first learning it, right? So it's one of those things where everything can be taught to children if we realize, all right, maybe we're gonna read some books instead of watching a Disney movie, right? Or maybe we're gonna, I'm not gonna take it all away from you, but I want to make sure that my programming gets in first. Did you learn that from one of your books?
No. It just as I got older, when I became a young adult and I left home, I'm like, whoa, it's just so much information that I don't have. So I really kind of had this concept well before I even had kids. Like, it's no way that I can have my kids leave home without knowledge that's going to be important for them to make it out here. Like, so that's really where I got it from. Just that's when I first jumped out in the world and just realizing how much knowledge I didn't have, and at that moment I made a promise to myself that I won't do my kids like that.
And one of the biggest decisions that we can make as a man or a woman is our life partner, right? And because, for example, you could have all of these thoughts of what it takes to raise a very well-rounded adult, and your life partner can destroy it. How did you know, all right, this is the person who I want to create another human with?
Oh man, that's a good question. Loyalty. If a person, I feel like if you're loyal and you're true to yourself and you're true to in the way you treat people, everything around that can be formed to what we want to build together. But if you show those certain characteristics of loyalty and faithfulness up front, then I feel like we can build off of that.
And it sounds like once she showed that loyalty and faithfulness, all right, let's create a human. And it sounds like she's going along with, your plan. Was that something that she already thinking, all right, we're going to be teaching our daughter before she even turned 5 about life insurance and accounts? Or was that something you like, hey, I'm about to do something a little untraditional? Was she already thinking like that, or you just brought it into the marriage?
Yeah, I just brought it into it. I'm so, the energy is contagious. Like I said, I don't listen to music. I read books and I do all these other things. And but sooner or later, like if you're married to someone, you're around them all the time, you start to pick up on those things. You start to pick up on certain things that I say, right? So she started picking up on certain things, and I always send her videos because I don't really have nobody else to send her the videos that I'm watching. Like, oh, this is some good information. Watch this. And when I come home, she's like, oh yeah, that's great or whatever. So and that's how we like kind of build conversations off of YouTube videos that I watch while I'm at work or driving to work, and after I listen to it, I send it to her. And yeah, she had a curious mind and open to learning, and I think that's the first step right there to being willing to learn.
Oh
And
yeah.
she definitely has that.
Yeah, that's the biggest decision that us as successful entrepreneurs can make. So how do you because I mean you help a lot of people, you do a lot of work. How do y'all recreate? Like what do you do when you're not thinking about work? What does RC Holmes consider fun?
Uh, I'm out back cooking on the grill, kids on the trampoline, water slide, or something. I'm always with my kids. Something riding the bike. I enjoy riding my bike. But something like I say out back cooking on the grill, playing with the kids, softball, basketball. Yeah, that's my fun.
Are you the vacation or the staycation type?
Staycation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be vacation further down the line. Some places I want to go, but right now staycation.
Okay, so staycation, conserve that money, get stuff done. So, what is all this for, RC? Like, if you imagine yourself where you standing at the top of a mountain, you're looking around, you saying, "Ah, I did it." Like, what do you see?
That's a great question. That's a great question. First, my kids benefiting off the hard work and all this knowledge and things that I've gained and brought to our family. My kids being a benefit from that, and they're one day becoming successful entrepreneurs. But outside of like my immediate family, I want to see everybody. That's a good question. I want to see everybody win, but most of the people that I had direct contact with, like I'm standing on top of this mountain and I see, oh, this school over here, they now have implemented financial literacy into their program, right? Or I'm not sure how to word the answer to your question,
Yeah.
because it's such. I can't say I don't know because I know, but I just want to have a positive. I just want to leave the world in a better place, have a positive impact on the world. I want to give back. I want to help others who is in need, the ones that wants to get better, the ones that lack the information, that wants the information. Yeah, but that's what I kind of see.
Oh yeah, because it sounds like I remember like I used to struggle with this, man. People would ask me, "What do I do for fun?" And I would have a hard time answering it because I learned for fun. Like learning was fun, but
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah,
seem like the right answer. And it sounds like what you're saying is what you see as your I did it is the people around you being able to say they did it. And to you,
exactly.
it's like, dang, he asking me what do I consider successful? And I'm trying to find a way to say I feel like I'm successful if everybody around me is successful.
100%, 100%. Everybody else pick up on the principles and then the laws of success and being able to apply those to the people that's around them, man. Because information, I wouldn't say it's not even stingy no more. It's out there.
Yeah.
People just got to just go and get it. So, and that's what I want, just to push the information and make sure everybody gets the information. I don't want nobody around me that can't say I didn't try to help them or anything. I'm always talking about bettering ourselves, and if you're around me, I don't care how long it is, 5 minutes, you probably gonna learn something about bettering yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Because here's the thing: a lot of us know plenty of smart people who are broke, and a lot of us know plenty of idiots who are wealthy. So
Yeah,
it's not even necessarily the knowledge; it's the applied knowledge.
yeah,
Knowledge is only potential power. Applied knowledge is power. And just to give that, because I don't even want us to graze over the gem you just dropped. I don't know if people really realize what you just said about life insurance. So there are three internal revenue codes. Internal revenue code 72E, 7702, and 101A. 72E says as long as something is considered a life insurance policy, it grows tax-free. 7702 says as long as you access it the right way, you can use this life insurance policy while you're alive tax free. And 101A says as long as it's a life policy, whatever you have in your account will blossom and pass to your heirs tax free. Back in 1980, E.F. Hutton, a brokerage group, brought this to the masses. Now, the wealthy families have already been using this for over a century. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. E.F.
yeah,
Hutton brought it to the masses, and the IRS sued E.F. Hutton, and the IRS lost. So that's when they came up with TAMRA, TEFRA, and DEFRA. As long as you follow these guidelines, as long as you know the right type of policies to get, because listen, life insurance, permanent life insurance is just a tool. If you were to go to somebody and say, hey, would you rather have Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson's golf club, or would you rather have their golf swing? You better say that swing, because that club is just a tool. If you were to say, hey, would you rather have LeBron James's tennis shoes, or do you want to have his crossover, his jump up, his release? You better say that crossover, that release, because it's the way it's set up. Life insurance is definitely very powerful because once again, all truths are parallel. Money is called currency for a reason. It's a current. It's meant to keep moving. You just have your money sitting in the savings account earning less than 1%, and the average inflation is at least 3%. What that means is if your money is earning less than what the cost of what you're spending your money on every year, your money is worth less and less every year. So I'm glad that you brought up that life insurance, and you know, we kind of glossed over it, but that was probably the biggest gem that you dropped. How did you learn about the life insurance?
YouTube, Marvin Mitchell. Marvin Mitchell is his name. He's great on it. I'm always looking to learn and, like I say, find ways to better myself. And there's a video. I think the title was "How to Create Your Own Bank" or something like that. And I probably watched it maybe like 5 times now, but yeah, I watched it and just started implementing it. Like you say, taking action. It's nothing. I guess nothing. I would have watched that video and didn't do nothing with it, you know. But start taking action, start getting some policies, and yeah, my goal is to have a lot of policies, but at least at least
I got a busload of them. I got a whole lot of them too.
Yeah.
Is that something that your company does as well? Life insurance policies?
No, we don't do life insurance policies. I refer to an agent that we work with closely. We have a working relationship with them, and I let her do it. So if someone is interested, I do teach about it or whatever, inform those who's interested in learning about it. But I refer them to the life insurance agent, and yeah.
Oh yeah, so I definitely want to talk to you off camp because you know I do it as well. You know, so if anybody wanted to, I share as much knowledge as possible. But I definitely understand already existing working relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But let's have a conversation off camera. Maybe see what's going on because once again I'm very skilled. I'm actually a chartered financial consultant, chartered life underwriter, and I don't know if you ever heard of Doug Andrew. That is my mentor. He is like the godfather of this thing. I talk to him at least once a month, and I go to visit him at least once every 3 months. We be talking high level with this thing. So I'm glad you brought it up. And I was able
to tell the way you when you brought it around, you circled back on it. You started talking about revenue codes and
hey man, I don't play with it. Dog, the business playbook is the internal revenue code. A lot of people don't think about it. Like if I were to, I have classes. I've taught thousands of students over the past couple of years, and the business playbook is the internal revenue code. And if you know the internal revenue code, man, you can play this game. Because just imagine you can be the worst football or basketball player in the world, but if the other team doesn't know you're not supposed to travel, you're not supposed to double dribble. If the other team doesn't know what offsides mean and all they doing is stumbling. All you got to do is stay on sides. And you're going to win the game. But RC, man, I want to thank you so much for this time. One more time, please tell people your name, the name of your company, and how they can get in touch with you.
Yes, sir. I'm RC Holmes, CEO of Wealth Results. You can find me on Instagram at Holmes.rc, my website, wealthyresults.com, or you can email me at info@wealthyresults.com. And there's a hyphen between wealthy and results, wealthy-results.com. And that's both on the website and the email. The email again is info@wealthyresults.com.
Man, RC, thank you for spending this time with us and sharing your knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.